One of the easiest, most basic baking recipes would have to be for scones, but so much can go wrong with scones if you don't get the technique right. I'm going to show you one of my favourite savoury recipes for scones using a little bit of cheddar cheese. Now, first of all, the flour is really important. I'm using a low protein flour for this recipe. I find that it gives a lighter texture and they won't be as tough. Now, I've measured that out. That's 400 grams, along with 2.5 teaspoons of cream of tartar and 2 teaspoons of bicarb. These are the 2 leavening agents. Now, I think it's essential to sift all these ingredients together because this, again, will help lighten our mixture up and to ensure that we don't get any of these lumps like this. So just help it out with the back of a spoon, straight through that. And for a little bit of sweetness, 25 grams of sugar and just a pinch of salt in there. Now we'll just combine all of the dry ingredients together, and now we can add 90 grams of unsalted butter here. This butter is frozen. So by having all of these ingredients chilled, even the yogurt and the milk, it'll ensure that we retard the gluten so it doesn't become really tough. And then we'll put all of that butter into the flour mixture here. And with my fingers, I'm just going to pinch the butter into that flour. Now for the liquid. I like to use a combination of yogurt and a little bit of milk. So 60 millilitres of milk, 250 grams of just plain yogurt. And for something a little bit different, oil, not traditional, but it works. So I'm going to measure that out, 20 millilitres. There we go. And then we combine it with a spoon until it comes together and the dough forms. I always remember as a little girl in the kitchen with Auntie Iris, she stressed it quite a lot. Do not overwork the mixture. When it starts to incorporate quite nicely like that, that's when I get my hands involved just to press all of the mixture together so it comes into one big mass. You know, I'm not mixing or kneading it. You don't want to be kneading this, you just want to be pressing it together. And get a little bit of flour onto the board, just to sprinkle it over. We'll take the dough, press it out into a disc. I will use my rolling pin just to very lightly press it out. We want it to be 1.5 centimetres thick, about that. So just with a cookie cutter, and I always take a big bowl of flour like this. And then we can cut out our scones. So that's the first one. And I'll finish making these, and they bake for about 15 minutes at 170 degrees. Crispy golden cheese. You can see just before I added them to the oven, I sprinkled them with some cheddar cheese, but I love the look of it. I actually don't put the cheese into the mix because I think that it makes a heavy scone. I'm going to sandwich these scones. So to make a spread, a touch of goat's cheese, about 100 grams of goat's cheese, softened goat's cheese, into a small food processor with a few tablespoons of pouring cream, and I'm going to make some whipped goat's cheese. So we will blitz this until it's really smooth and light and fluffy. And that is done. That's fantastic on any toast, even better on scones. And over here, I've made some onion jam. Now, I put a recipe up on the website, but of course you could use a really good quality store-bought onion jam too. Now, I like to serve these when they're still just warm. They're fantastic at room temperature too. And we'll cut them in half, straight down the center. I'm just gonna show you how beautiful. See how light they are. We've got a beautiful fine crumb. They're soft. They're perfect. These are the most beautiful savoury scones you'll do because they're not really dense because of the flour that we've used and because we haven't overworked them. And now we can spread them with our goat's cheese. And by all means, use different types of fillings. Smoked salmon with some cream cheese and some dill would work nicely. And last little thing we need to add here is our onion jam. This is going to give it sweetness. We'll put the little lids on See how beautiful that's cooked? Golden bases there. And then we'll just place them on a lovely platter, just like that. Of course I'm going to have a taste. I cannot resist. That is the ultimate savoury scone.